So hello, Wayne. It's so lovely to see you. Thank you for giving us your time on holidays. And it means so much to us that you've taken this time out. Thank you so much.
Nurkish, it's great to see you. How are you?
Oh, lovely, actually. We've got the sun shining, as you can see in this little corner here. And so I'm in England and the sun's shining. That's
a miracle.
That's a good day. So I'd like to just introduce you formally to anyone that's watching here. So you're Wayne Lloyd. You're the owner of Wayne Lloyd Hair and you're based in two salons,
Correct.
which you own. One's in Ballydehob and one's in Bandon, both in County Cork.
Yeah.
So I hope I've got that right, because I know that I'd like to recommend customers, because you have a PHAB Service Star. So we've basically done our checks, and it turns out that we measure everyone to industry average, and anyone that is below or meets industry average, we don't qualify for the star. But you have observed and given us all the evidence and passed our checks, and you're practicing above industry average levels, which of course makes you one of the best in industry. And I know there are many businesses out there, but they have to go through the process of getting themselves checked, etc. So I'd like to start this interview with you with what made you apply for a PHAB Service Star?
A few things, really. One was I was told about it by a friend of mine, Sean Taff, and I had a little look to see who the other PHAB Service Star holders were. And I was, there's some great names there.
Impressive.
And so for me, it was a no-brainer. Who wouldn't want to be in that list of great names across the UK and Ireland? And it's a no-brainer. I'm quite a competitive person by nature, and
well, we know you currently hold the record on our website, basically, because each one of you that qualifies gets your own page, etc. And I think to date it's 60 plus or 62 plus awards that you've got listed. It was endless, and you've won so many awards. It was so impressive. And so I guess while we're here, I can ask you, do you feel that the PHAB Service Stars supports you well?
It does, yeah. It's I think one of the things that I really liked was when I did when I first did the application. It was, for me, it was really interesting process. It was like an audit. It's an audit of my business, of my skills, of my personality as a hairdresser. It's an audit of like every single part. And yes, it does support me well. And the guys at PHAB, having the PHAB Service Star in the window is an honour.
Yeah.
And the guys at PHAB have always been really supportive, and especially you, Nurkish. And yeah, I'm definitely a proud service star holder. I'm proud to have it, and to have your name up there with the some of the biggest legends in the industry. Not going to complain about that at all.
Yes, that's very good news. But I guess, did you find we were thorough with our checks?
Yes, you were. And do you know what? One of the things I remember talking about was this was right at the back at the very start of COVID, and I asked you a question about how the figures would relate in relation to COVID, and because that had just kind of kicked off at the time, and I know that PHAB went away and changed some of the things because of the numbers, because of COVID, which I think was a very thorough thing to do. Yes, the checks were thorough. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. But if it was easy, everyone would have one.
Correct.
It took time to gather the information. Like, we use a computer system, so it wasn't too difficult. But I just had to really stop and think about what is, because we're hairdressers are always busy. We're always rushing around, running around, and we're always thinking about our clients. And I had to stop and think about exactly what it is that I do and how I do it. So I had to pause for a moment and reflect and think about the best way to get that across. And yeah, that was really interesting for me, and I learned a lot from the process. And I that was great. But yeah, definitely, really
think
good.
your exact words was that it was like an MOT on a car.
That's exactly what it felt like. It was like an MOT of my business and myself. Myself as a hairdresser.
Your column, actually, that's
my column.
precisely what it was. And I remember you giving us a testimonial and saying it really made me think about what I was doing in my column. And I think that's a very good way to describe it. And what can I say? That's precisely what it's designed to do.
One of the things that's been quite funny as well is the stuff that got me my service star is also still bringing me new clients, and clients that are returning clients after years, that might have moved and things like that, and they're still coming back to me for the very same reasons, or they're coming to me, or I'm retaining clients for the reasons that I got my service star. So that's quite interesting as well.
Well, it's not interesting at all. It's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
And it's what makes
good to see it in practice. It means it works. It means it works.
Absolutely. We're literally only measuring what's important to the consumer at a basic level. That's all we're doing. So, I mean, that brings you to a point where I'd like you to understand that your philosophy of how you treat your customer, which I'm going to come to next, I'd like to read out some of the comments that some of the customers have made about a visit to your chair. And I want PHAB Service Star holders who work tirelessly to deliver those customer service standards for the customer to understand that keep doing the hard work, because it comes across to your customers. So I'm now picking up just random lines from, I'm not going to disclose who's written them, but I'm going to tell you, this is what was said about you. And I'll end with one of my favorite sentences, I think, in the history of sentences to describe a visit to the hairdresser. This was hilarious. But a visit to Wayne's salon is always a treat. He gives me space to breathe. Wayne is simply a cut above. He always talks everything through before a haircut. He listens and he advises. His knowledge is amazing. I always leave the salon feeling fabulous, knowing I have been waned. That's my favorite sentence. I just absolutely thought that was hilarious. And I thought, what does she mean? But it was hilarious to read that sentence, and so absolutely what PHAB Service Star holders deliver. So in your own way, your service was magnificent. They have risen, during, I think she's talking about COVID here. So yes, they have risen to the challenge of dealing with COVID and have sought different ways to make the customer experience as pleasurable as possible in these times. How wonderful, what a great thing to observe. It means, I mean, there's just so much more. I can only pick up a few that I've highlighted, but Wayne has an innate ability to visualize what color and style suits his clients. Wayne makes me feel like hair is incredibly important. My hair is incredibly important to him. I mean, that's what that's what's coming across to them. Let me pick out a couple more. I feel so special, like royalty. It's an amazing service. I mean,
That's great.
It says everything about the way a FAB Service Star holder conducts themselves. Couple more that I want to bring up, because I need people to understand what is involved and who we are looking for. So Wayne goes through my routine and takes my ability or lack of ability in styling my own hair into consideration when consulting with me. Superb. It just means you're actually listening to whether they'll be able to upkeep their hair. Nothing is too much trouble for him. And this is my piece de resistance sentence that just puts it in one nutshell, and I'll end there. I asked whether you could improve anything, Wayne. And of course, she joked first and said he could stop charging me, which of course would be everyone's dream, but absolutely not possible.
Unfortunately not.
Yes, and certainly not in COVID times, people. And this is the way she finishes off, this lady. You can't improve on perfection. Oh. We are so lucky to have him as our local stylist. He is a genuine rock star, but this, I think she just gathers it and puts it in a nutshell. I have never looked or felt so fabulous. He's solely responsible for a massive boost in my self-esteem. I am stopped daily and asked about my hair and told how great it looks on Facebook. This, sir, is why you are the holder of a FAB Service Star.
That's actually quite emotional when you hear it back.
This is phenomenal. And this is where I guess our job is so beautiful for us. And we love doing it because we get to see the best in industry. And today in the process, I've invited a few FAB Service Star holders to just hear what they're doing and that their efforts are coming through in the way that they are to their customers. So I hope that tells you that all the hard work you're putting in is absolutely worth it to so many people. Now,
it's great to hear. It is really good to hear that back. It was quite emotional for a second there, because I think because of work and how hard things have been. It's great to be reminded that what we do does work, and that how much people do appreciate it when you do go the extra mile, when you do put the extra effort in, and when you do aim for the stars. That your clients do appreciate it. It's great to hear that back. Thank you.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. This is the best part of my working life, believe me. And tell me, while we're on the subject, what is your personal philosophy about your service standards being so high? And where did it start? Did it start with parents? Did it start with your first job? Just tell us where it all started.
Oh God, my personal service standards about being so high. How can I explain that? Firstly, I think that one of the main things is honesty. That you can't bullshit clients. I'm sorry to I'm not going to swear there, but no. I think it's so important to be honest with your clients and to manage their expectations. I think most clients come into the salon to a lot of salons, and they get fed a lot of rubbish, and they're told that stuff can be achieved that can't be achieved. And our philosophy is literally to sit down with clients, and we take time over the consultation. I think one of the things that gets messed up most in our industry is awful consultations, and we try to sit down. I try to sit down and listen to my client. I want to find out a little bit about for example, Sandra, when Sandra's in the chair. And the best way to do that is we have a structured consultation procedure that we try to follow. And, you know, we did lots of training on communication and about, you know, open and closed questions and lots of different things like that, that just to try and find out the information that clients, we can get from clients. And it's not up to the client always. We can't expect our clients to give us all the information we need. We have to get it out of them. Yes. Because sometimes clients don't know how to explain what they want. And it's our job as a hairdresser to find out that information. And that takes a little bit of time. So the days of somebody being rushed to the basin and what we're doing, same as last time, they're gone. You can't do that. You need to sit down with your client and find out what they do and don't like. How much time have they got to spend on the hair? You look at their face shape, look at their routine, look at their, you know, what kind of things they like, and find out all the information you can about that client. And then you need to educate them. We have to educate our clients to become a Lloyd client, because sometimes when a client comes in the door, because we do things slightly differently, they don't understand what's going on. So we explain to them our process. And that's that we will, you know, every time we come in, we sit you down, even if I even do it with my regular weekly blow dry, who has the same blow dry every week. I even still do a consultation with her because she's a paying client and deserves to have the same service as a new client. And I think one of that comes from, I think, learning through my career that clients don't get listened to. And listening to my clients, finding out that sometimes what happens is they don't get listened to, and that's where mistakes happen and things go wrong in their service.
Not having a good consultation takes you straight to mediocrity. That's it. Yeah. It's a road to mediocrity. That's it.
And I think from that good consultation, you can then, I don't see mistakes happen. Obviously, you know, it's not an exact science, but from a good consultation, you're much more likely to have a happy client at the end of it. Once you've got all the information you need, you can do a beautiful haircut, a fabulous color, a great updo.
Agreed.
Once you've got the information to start with.
Correct.
But it's like, if you don't have that information, it's like saying, you know, I want to go to Dublin. Okay, let's go. Yes. But we haven't decided where we're starting from.
Correct. Correct. Got it. No, you've actually explained it so beautifully, because you've actually said it's gathering information before you start that makes the journey as magical as it is, and the way they've described it. It's perfect. Thank you.
We don't use technical information with clients as well. Absolutely. We don't talk about layers or graduation and things like that. We talk about beautiful shapes and movements, and in a language that a client can understand it, they can get a feeling from it. And I think that's so important. There's no need to be, you know, all technical, because and you know, ridiculous words that clients don't understand, because that's not the language they talk.
Completely agreed. There is not a thing I disagree with here. How wonderful. So to end this, I guess I've already asked you this because you brought it up early on. So we basically want throughout the year to be able to support what PHAB Service Star holders do. And do you feel we're doing that with whatever you're putting on social media?
Yeah, I think you are. I think what will make it better.
Yes, that's what my next question.
More people joining.
We honestly, if there's anything you could say to the industry now, that you recommend that it is something they do, because, you know, So many people talk about our industry in the UK and Ireland not having a standard. Now there is one. We're offering a fair standard because we don't care what people charge. We just want to know that they're looking after their customers the best they can. And this is one of the things that we're doing right now to support you, this interview, and this will go live across the internet on all our platforms. So we are actually trying very hard to make sure that there is a place people can come to with their standards. And we have areas where if you don't meet the standard, it's so private in an email, because once you've applied, it comes through our algorithms, and then basically it gets stopped. If you're functioning at industry average, it gets stopped or below. Yeah. So only someone who's performing higher than industry average gets through. And then, of course, all our checks and our verifications then start to happen. And then we inform people that they've got their PHAB Service Star, etc. But the thing is that if enough people don't, from all parts of Ireland, all parts of Northern Ireland, all parts of Scotland, all parts of Wales, and all parts of England do not participate, how do we then go to the consumer press to say, look, a consumer looking for this, go look for the PHAB Service Star. It's on our website. They have their own pages. They have direct line booking straight through to their websites.
I agree 100%. And I think sometimes it comes back to that old thing that gets everybody sometimes, and that's just fear.
It's what?
Fear.
Fear. Oh, they can't. There is nothing to fear, because if you don't get through, no one knows.
Yeah, exactly. But what I would say to anybody thinking about doing it is, nobody wants to be an average hairdresser. Correct. Nobody wants to be a crap hairdresser. Correct. We only want to be the best hairdresser. And if there's something out there like a PHAB Service Star that can tell your clients that you're a fab hairdresser and can remind you what a fab hairdresser you are, why aren't you applying for it?
Fantastic. Because we'll give you the feedback to tell you how to become fab if you're not there yet. So anyway, you brought up a great point. I can't thank you enough for your time on holiday again. It's so lovely that you've taken the time to speak to us. And thank you so much, Wayne Lloyd. I'd just like to remind everyone who you are. You're Wayne Lloyd. You're the owner of Wayne Lloyd Hairdressing Salons in Ballydehob and Bandon in County Cork in Ireland. And good luck to you, sir. And keep doing what you're doing, because I mean,
thank you, Nagesh.
How we want you to represent our industry.
And anybody who's watching this, I would say, I really enjoyed my experience in my application. I really enjoyed my MOT, and my renewal comes up soon. I'll be doing my renewal because it's renewed each year. You don't just get it and keep it.
No,
and I would say to anybody out there, give it a go. What have you got to lose? And you've got everything to gain.
Thank you so much, Wayne.